So it's my honor to be here to talk about MVVM in RxSwift. Many of you have heard of this already and wonder why is this guy standing here and talk about this again. Well, me too. I try many things. I'm not saying that the others are bad or not recommended. I just want to share my story and hopefully you agree on some points. So let's get started. I'm Khoa, I work for Hyper, and I'm just another guy on GitHub. We love open source a lot, so if you have a lot of free time and you don't know how to spend, you can take a look. I like Swift. Like many other object-oriented programming languages, Swift allows us to represent real-world objects which can have characteristics and can perform some action. I tend to think of an app as a word where each object is a person. What do we do in the real world? We make apps, right? So imagine a project, for example, it can be done alone by one person. The manager needs help from the tester, from the Scrum Master, from the designer as well. And we, as developer, we can delegate the task to some other people, like we can hire freelancer to help us, right? And then take a look at the architecture you know the best, MVC. Here, view is where you present your data through UI view, UI label, UI collection view, UI table view. And model here is just a fancy word for your data. It can be from Alamo file, from CAD, from RAM, and the controller is the thing that mediates between the model and the view, right? And one problem with the view controller is it tends to be huge. Apple puts it as the center of the universe. There's a lot of things that you can only do with the view controller, like managing the view, handle view rotation, interacting with the storyboard, and many other things. And if you put more stuff inside the view controller, then there's a big chance that you will improve your scrolling skill. So what do you do in this situation where you offset the work to other objects? Like you can offset the view input handling to another object called the presenter. And if the presenter is feeling is doing too much, then you can ask another object called like the interactor to help you. And if the interactor is feeling is doing too much, it can delegate the task to another object. And then you end up with the Viper architecture. How many of you know about this Viper thing? Oh, quite a lot. How about this one? And this one? And this one? The Megatron architecture. It's just from the film, The Transformers. You should watch it. Actually, you can just make a new classes, name it, and roll out your own architecture and publish it on GitHub. So here's a very secret script. So what do you think of a good architecture? Well, it should have a clear separation of concerns, good communication pattern, and comfortable to use. This is the most important thing to me. Like you and your team must agree on this and feel comfortable working with it. Otherwise, it could be useless. So I think our job here is to not fight against the MVC and just to saving it. So that's why I think MVVM, short for Model View Controller, Model View Model, is good enough. What I like about it is it's self-contained and it just has input and output so that the view controller can just say like, hey, view model, do this for me, and I don't care how you do, just report it back to me when you've done. So the view model can just do anything on its own, like fetching the network, checking the cache, and report it back to the view controller. This way, the view model is very self-contained and can be easily testable. And like I said, it is good enough. There's no architecture that suits for everybody. So I think we can apply the view model to save one view controller at a time. So here's very simple view model is done synchronously. It just take the user model and perform some formatting and return the format data so that the view controller can just consume directly. What if the view model needs to do some other stuff like to get the Facebook friends? In order to do this, it needs to talk to the Facebook API, right? So it takes time. So in order to report back, we can use the closer as a callback here. Under the hood, the view model can use other objects like the API client to do its job. The view controller doesn't care as long as the view model does its job. So you can use any other notification pattern that you like. I myself prefer using the delegate and the closer. And if you want some fancy, you can create your own class called binding or whatever to take advantage of the property this set. So whenever the value changes, the listener will be called. So here's how you can expose the friends as a binding so that the view controller can just bind and notify when the value changes. Nice. And my next tip is to using RxSwift if you really want functional reactive programming. You can call it R10 Swift if you like, or RxSwift. Doesn't matter. The cool thing about RxSwift is it unifies operation, sync and async operations using the observable. Here's how you. I lost one slide. Here's how you can make the observable by create and notify the subscriber. And here's how you can just subscribe to that observable in the view controller very easily. Here we subscribe to the on next event. And the power of view model lies in its numerous operators. Here's how we can combine two network requests, one to fetch the Facebook friends and one to fetch the Twitter friends. I like these two social networks. And we can just wait for both of them to finish and sum up the friends. It saves you a lot of time and very streamlined. The next tip I want to share you is if you want to do view layout in code, you can move some of the code from the view controller to the view by using a generic view controller. Thanks to my friend Vadim for showing this to me. So this way it forces you to declare all of your view stuff inside like the profile view. And when you declare a profile view controller, you can just subclass the base view controller with the generic profile view. And it forces you to move all of the view stuff to another class. The last thing is if you can, when possible, you should divide the input and output from the view model, like from the class input and output, so that the view model can just combine the input to the output. And here in the view controller, it is very clear that which is input, which is output. It helps a bit. So that's it. Thanks for listening. Hope you had a great time.